Over the next 4 years, we will pray together in many different ways. But today, this prayer is expressly for you. Would you pray with me? That day, she gave a labor-laden cry. And then she held this newborn in her arms, and all the charms and harms of family, now 2 decades thick with memory, and all the tears and tears of childhood, skinned up knees, and egg-shelled egos cracked with fragile fears and brilliant, shining hope, the scope of future dreams now underway. Today she gives a labor-laden sigh with open arms and hearts. She says goodbye, and all the charms and harms of growing up, now 2 decades far too quickly gone. They sit before you here today, O God. We bid you blessing on their families. We bid your blessing on this passage rite and give you thanks for all that's yet to be. Shalom, salam, namaste, shanti, amen.
Thank you, John. As president of Ohio Wesleyan University, it is my pleasure to welcome all of you to today's convocation. Students, as you take your place in the Ohio Wesleyan family, you gain access to a tremendous collection of resources here to support your educational journey. I want to introduce 2 people on the platform party who are not speaking today, but who are critical in those resources. Our provost, who oversees the academic program, Dr. Chuck Steinmetz, and our vice president for student engagement and success, who oversees life outside of the classroom, Dr. Dwayne Todd. Among the most important resources of Ohio Wesleyan are our faculty, who have chosen to devote their professional lives to undergraduate education, and students, they are here for you. Our alumni across the country and around the world, whose great passion for their alma mater leads to generous philanthropic support, internships and externships, and an almost unlimited number of mentoring opportunities. And your fellow students who will become lifelong friends. So now it is my pleasure to introduce representatives of our faculty, our alumni association, and our student body who will speak today. Dr. Brad Trees will speak on behalf of the Ohio Wesleyan faculty. After obtaining his college degree from Ohio Wesleyan, Dr. Trees earned a PhD in theoretical condensed matter physics. Are you ready for that? From the Ohio State University, and then returned to join the faculty of his alma mater in 1997. Dr. Trees works closely with students in his research laboratory throughout the academic year and is a part of the summer science research program. His engagement with students in the classroom, in the laboratory, and through a variety of activities outside of the classroom is exemplary of the ways in which our faculty engage with students and of the relationships you can expect to build with your professors. Dr. Trees is recognized well beyond Ohio Wesleyan. He currently is collaborating with Gerald Walker at Cleveland State University on the 11th edition of the classic university physics text, Fundamental of Physics, which is expected to be published in the spring of 2018. Dr. Trees recently was honored at commencement with one of Ohio Wesleyan's highest faculty awards, the Bishop Herbert Welch Meritorious Teaching Award. Representing the alumni of Ohio Wesleyan today is Ms. Denise Brenner of the class of 2000. Denise graduated summa cum laude and Phi Beta Kappa from Ohio Wesleyan with a psychology major and a sociology minor. While a student at OWU, she held a part-time internship, which she was able to convert into a full-time job with the same company. And while working the last 18 years in the nonprofit association management industry, Denise has found time to secure an MBA from the Fisher School of Business, the College of Business at Ohio State, and certification in public accountancy and chartered global management accountancy. She currently is the owner of Denise Brenner CPA LLC, which provides consulting, accounting, and tax services to individuals and small businesses in Central Ohio. Denise exemplifies the passion of OWU alumni for their alma mater and for supporting students who are here today. She remains engaged by serving as president of the OWU Alumni Panhellenic Council and as a member of the Alumni Association Board of Governors. And representing your fellow students is the president of our Student Government Association, Mr. Chris Dobeck. Chris is a senior history education major from Chagrin Falls, Ohio. And like so many of our students, Chris has embraced a host of opportunities in his time at Ohio Wesleyan, reflected in his many involvements on campus. Besides serving in student government, Chris is a member of our honors program, the investment club, the astronomy club, college Republicans, mock convention, and serves as marshal of the Alpha Sigma Phi fraternity. After serving as a regional and state chair in the Ohio Wesleyan Republican Mock Convention in 2016, Chris was invited to attend the Republican National Convention in Cleveland and to participate in a live televised CNN focus group discussion after the day's speeches ended. Chris is someone who loves to learn, and he was recently quoted as saying, quote, "For the student who loves to learn, OWU is a wonderful place to be." We begin with Dr. Trees.
Thank you, President Jones. Good afternoon on this sunny and very warm day. And yes, we know how hot you are, but just imagine we have these dark, heavy robes on up here, so it's very hot. On behalf of the teaching faculty at Ohio Wesleyan University, or hopefully as you're learning to pronounce it, OWU, I am honored to offer words of welcome to the incoming class of 2021. As your college career begins, I hope that you will accept these words of welcome in the form of 3 pieces of advice. Part 1. As stewards of the curriculum, the faculty will have a profound impact on your academic experience at OWU. The people you see seated on either side of me are a subset of the entire faculty. The members of this set are professional academics who are devoted to a life of the mind. We are passionate about our fields of expertise and are enthusiastic to share our knowledge with you. We also look forward to learning from you and about you and your life experiences. As classroom instructors and academic advisors, we are going to help you maneuver through your next 4 years of intellectual and emotional growth. So my first piece of advice to you is this. Be fully engaged with the academic program at Ohio Wesleyan and take advantage of the faculty as an academic resource. Here are some simple suggestions for ways to engage with the academic program, and although they are simple suggestions, if you take them to heart, you will find them to be very effective. Always attend all your classes. I repeat, always attend all your classes. And be on time to class. Often, important announcements are made at the beginning of class time. Be an active participant in each class. Research shows that more learning occurs when a student is actively engaged during class time. That means asking questions, answering questions, and taking good notes. compared to just sitting and trying to absorb information passively. That's what I call a sponge impersonation. Make a 100% effort on all assignments. Practice and learning from our mistakes is how we improve. What athlete, artist, musician, dancer, or actor doesn't accept this as an axiom? The same truth holds for academics. Talk to a faculty member for guidance about class content that you are unsure of, and also about study skills, time management, career advice, and choosing a major. This institution has over 90 majors and 4 different types of bachelor's degrees. Okay. So you should talk with us about what academic path is best for you. You do not have to make choices all by yourself. We are here to help. Part 2. As a physicist, I can't stop myself from introducing a little physics into this talk. In Einstein's theory of special relativity, we learn of a physical phenomenon known as time dilation. The effect is often summarized in a phrase as moving clocks run slow. Works like this. Suppose I have a clock, probably my phone, that is keeping time accurately. You also have your own clock that is keeping time accurately. Now I, as professor, give a homework assignment, and I allow 24 hours for the assignment to be completed. The assumption, by the way, which we often take for granted, is that I mean 24 hours as measured by my clock. Suppose that you would like more than 24 hours to finish the assignment. Who wouldn't like extra time? You convince me to take a ride in a very fast spaceship that travels out away from Earth and back at 86.6% the speed of light. You wouldn't have to work hard to convince me to do that. I return to Earth, and my clock reads the duration of my trip is 24 hours. While this is happening, you remain on Earth working diligently on the homework assignment. You will discover that when I return, your clock shows that I have been away for 48 hours. You turn in your homework on time, 24 hours by my clock, which was running slow compared to your clock. You have just used physics to get double time for your homework. Pretty neat, huh? The physics is correct. The problem, as you know, is that technology is not sufficiently advanced to make high-speed space travel a reality. So, unfortunately, since you can't use time dilation to obtain extra time on homework, here's my second piece of more practical advice. Learn to be a wise manager of your time in a reference frame fixed to Earth. Here are some specific suggestions to help you with time management. Get yourself a planner or calendar of some kind, digital perhaps, or perhaps old-fashioned paper. First, block out all the class meetings, because we all know you're going to go to every class all the time, right? Then block out time for extracurricular activities as they're scheduled. Of the remaining hours in a week, next block out study time. At OWU, I suggest you follow the 3-to-1 rule. That rule says for every hour spent in class, you spend 3 hours outside of class studying. So after you get all that blocked out, you may have to look carefully at all the days and times, but you can get it all blocked out. Make sure to leave adequate time for sleep, by the way. That's very important. And when you look at it, you will see that you have the equivalent of a full-time job. You are full-time students. To stay on top of your academic work, record in your planner the dates of all your midterms and final exams, papers, and assignments as soon as you know of them. And the course syllabus, by the way, is going to be very helpful in that regard. Start studying for exams and working on papers and assignments well in advance. It is possible to avoid staying up all night to get some assignment done or to cram for a test. and research shows that cramming for a test is not an effective way to learn. Don't be afraid to tweak this system if you feel you need more study time for one class or a little less for another. And by all means, talk to the professors about advice on time management. And part 3. Show of hands. Who knows the meaning of the word syzygy? I see some hands. I'll spell it Syzygy. Here's a hint. It is related to a major astronomical event that will occur tomorrow. Tomorrow, a total solar eclipse will be visible across a broad swath of the continental U.S. As you know, a total solar eclipse occurs when the moon is located along a line between the sun and Earth. This straight line configuration is what is known as syzygy. As a result of this configuration, the moon blocks out the sun's photosphere. When you think about it, it is quite a surprise that we observe total solar eclipses at all. It is, in fact, a consequence of 2 coincidental conditions. One, that the distance from Earth to Sun is about 400 times the distance from Earth to Moon. And 2, that the Sun's diameter is almost exactly 400 times the Moon's diameter. Some people will be traveling great distances to be in the path of totality. Some people, called umbrophiles, chase total solar eclipses as they occur around the globe. The fact that we can predict with precision the time, location, and duration of a solar eclipse is evidence of our thorough understanding of the classical mechanics of the solar system. I must pause here for a public service announcement. When undertaking observations of the sun, never look directly at the sun's photosphere with the unprotected eye. Eye damage and blindness can occur. Always use independently tested protective eyewear. So in Delaware, unfortunately, the moon will only cover about 85% of the disk of the sun. So we call that a partial solar eclipse. Even with that much of the sun covered, the majority of it, because the coverage happens over a long enough period of time, and because the human eye is sensitive to light intensity over many orders of magnitude, if you are not paying attention, it is possible you will not notice any difference in your ambient conditions. In other words, you could miss the whole thing. To see the effects of tomorrow's eclipse, you need to be mindful of your environment. If you are not aware of what is going on, it may just seem to you like the sun has gone behind a cloud. Or you may notice that the edges of shadows appear sharper than usual. Or if you are standing under trees, not me, you may notice that the little circles of sunlight that you are used to seeing through the leaves now are actually little crescents. What a shame it would be if you missed the entire event because you did not pay attention to what is going on around you. So my third piece of advice to you is this: be mindful of both your environment and yourself. To be mindful of your environment means to be observant of and to comprehend what is happening around you. If you are mindful of your environment, you will not miss the beauty of a partial solar eclipse, or a rainbow, or the pink sky at sunset. And as an educated member of society, it is worth the effort to understand what causes each of these physical phenomena. If you are mindful of your environment, you are more likely to consider potential consequences, both good and bad, before you act. We all benefit from being fully aware of the conditions of our environment and our place in it. And yes, that probably means we all need to look up from our smartphones a little more frequently so that we can interact with each other in real time, face to face, and with respect for each other's opinions and feelings. I pause for a second public service announcement. I am happy to say that, in the spirit of mindfulness, we shall be observing the partial eclipse with appropriate protective eyewear tomorrow at 2 p.m. right on Merrick Lawn. You will meet with your academic advisors from 1 to 2, and then you will come out to the lawn at 2 o'clock, and we shall all celebrate and observe the eclipse together. Maximum coverage of the sun will occur here around 2:30. Now back to being mindful. I mentioned you should also be mindful of yourself. To be mindful of oneself is to be aware of and acknowledge one's thoughts and feelings in the present moment without being judgmental about those thoughts and feelings. How might such a state of mind be helpful? If you are mindful of your own thought processes, for example, then you have the opportunity to address aspects of yourself that could potentially set you up for failure. Consider, if you are aware that you had the tendency in high school of procrastinating on assignments, then now, as you start down a new academic path, is the time to commit to correct that pattern of behavior. For example, if you use a digital planner that I mentioned earlier, program it to give you a reminder 2 days before an assignment is due. In other words, just don't let assignments sneak up on you. Or maybe you should consider forming or joining a study group where the members of the group help each other stay on task. And by all means, talk to your professors if there are aspects of an assignment that you find to be confusing. Sometimes when there is a task before us that daunts or confuses us, we put it off, even though that is not a good idea. It might be that a word or two of guidance from your professor is all you need to get started on that assignment that is bothering you. So my takeaway message is this. Faculty members are here to guide you on your academic journey, but the journey is yours. Make the most of it and get to know us along the way. The better that we know your interests and aspirations, your skills, your strengths and weaknesses, the better we can help you find your unique, optimal path. Do not hesitate to call upon us, and once again, welcome to OWU.
Good afternoon. As Rock previously mentioned, my name is Denise Brenner, and I'm a member of the Ohio Wesleyan class of 2000. And on behalf of the Ohio Wesleyan Alumni Association, I'd love to welcome you to our beloved university. I'm honored to be one of the first to meet and address the class of 2021 and to introduce you to your new network of over 40,000 loyal supporters. That's right. You may not have been aware when you chose Ohio Wesleyan that you were instantly inheriting an enormous extended family in the form of OWU alumni who are eager to support your growth and success. Although we won't officially recognize you as a member of the Alumni Association until your graduation in 2021, your status as a member of our Bishop family begins today. That family includes, among others, prize-winning journalists and authors, famous actors and actresses, thriving C-suite executives and entrepreneurs, university presidents, professional athletes, Nobel laureates, government officials, and political activists. Closer to home, the OWU Alumni Association is also represented by many of the individuals seated here with us today, including the parents and grandparents of 64 members of your incoming class. We are thrilled to welcome you on this new and exciting chapter in your life. And since, as I mentioned earlier, I am one of over 40,000 members of the OWU Alumni Association, I did a little crowdsourcing in my preparation to address you today. I posed a question to my fellow battling bishops. If you could offer one piece of advice to our incoming students, what would it be? I received some, I'll call them clever, remarks, which I have opted to filter today, as you will eventually discover them on your own. But there were also many common themes, all of which I'm sure you've heard ad nauseum over the last 6 months. Take it all in. Get involved. Have an open mind. Study abroad. Go Greek. Step outside of your comfort zone. Enjoy every minute because it goes way too fast. And the obvious, which we've already heard, and you will continue to hear for the next 4 years, go to class. But in my Bishop crowdsourcing, there were some very unique responses as well, a few of which I would like to share with you. Jason Milligan from the OWU class of 1993 says, "The beauty of attending a small school is the ability to try things you'd never be able to at a larger school. Theater, club sports, or even being a radio DJ." Kara Thomas Steinmetz, a 2004 graduate, says, "OWU gives you amazing access to your professors. Take advantage every chance that you get." Katie Butt from the class of 2014 says, "Study on the 4th floor of Peel Chapel. Be an orientation leader and celebrate after late night finals studying with a trip to Hambo, which you will all soon learn is short for the Hamburger Inn." Jessica McCormick L., the class of 2000, recommends that you spend a summer on campus doing research. She said some of her greatest friends and best memories were made in the quiet summers on campus. Erin Donnelly Drake from the class of 2002 suggests, jump in the leaves in the Stye Valley, go to Friday night soccer games, take a Sean Kay class, and stay off your phone. Dan Redding from the class of 1996 offers this very critical advice. Don't date anyone exclusively until the second semester of your senior year. Emily Carlton from the class of 2005 says, when you're stressed out, go to the Slocum Study Hall and look at the ceiling, the tables, and all of the history there. Bob Gordon from the class of 1988 encourages you to sled the hill in front of Stye Hall using an old pizza box. Bridget Fahey Kelly from the class of 2011 says, if something isn't working out, a roommate, a class, or a professor, talk to someone about fixing it. Seek out an RA, your advisor, or even a professor you've grown to like. More often than not, they will know a way to make the situation better. Amanda Bowles-Moore from the class of 2002 says, go to sporting events, go to music events, go to all of it. Entertainment will never be so readily accessible and affordable again. And finally, Ellen Simpson from the class of 1977 sums it all up when she says, know that the friends you make at OWU are absolutely friends for life. In addition to this advice from your fellow bishops, our alumni are very proud of many of the traditions and legends that make OWU unique. Some are likely familiar to you as you learned of them during your campus tour and the college exploration process. But for others, take note, and I will leave a little bit to the imagination so that you can discover and experience them for yourself. Some of these unique OWU traditions include the Day on the J, the Sulphur Springs, my personal favorite, the Midnight Breakfast, West Winter Street, Williams Drive, and North Franklin Street, the President's Ball, the Sagan National Colloquium, Orchesis, the Panhellenic House, Diwali, the Legend of the Seal and the Mirror in University Hall, the Cave, Sloughs, the Transcript, the Hayes and Stye Tunnel, Babbling Bishops, Delaware Run and the historic marker that resides there, the newest tradition, the Final Lap, and last but not least, Reunion Weekend, in which hundreds of Ohio Wesleyan alumni from all the decades and geographic areas return to campus and take up residence in the dorms. An insider's tip is if you have the opportunity to serve as a student worker during this annual weekend each May, take it. You will be amazed by the connections you make and the things you learn while driving members of the alumni community around campus in university golf carts. Additionally, your class has arrived just in time for OWU's 175th anniversary celebration in October. This will be your first opportunity to experience firsthand the sense of community that comes with being a part of the Bishop Alumni Network. I will be here sharing the weekend with my husband of 14 years, whom I met in volleyball class during my second semester on campus. 6 years after meeting, we were married right next door in Gray Chapel with many OWU friends, family, and professors in attendance. I suppose it goes without saying that you never know what your campus experience will afford you. Aside from these words of wisdom, there are many other ways your alumni network serves to support you. As a member of the OWU Alumni Association Board of Directors, I return to campus twice each year to collaborate with students, administrators, and fellow alumni from around the country and across the decades. As we engage with you, the students, during committee meetings, emerging leader receptions, and senior networking events, we gather feedback and suggestions and use this information in an attempt to influence positive change for the university. Specifically, our Student Alumni Relations Committee represents your voice to the Alumni Board of Directors. We want to hear from you. What steps can alumni take to make your experience on campus the best that it can be? Do you have examples of positive initiatives taking place on the campuses of your friends and family? Your student government representatives from the Wesleyan Council on Student Affairs, or WCSA, meet with us twice each year when we are on campus, so be sure to share this information with them and make your voice heard. In addition to your on-campus experience, OWU Alumni Association members are also there to support your off-campus and professional endeavors. Alumni serve as career mentors, host internships and externships, conduct mock interviews both on campus and remotely, and provide resume critiques and job recommendations. The OWU Office of Career Services can put you in touch with alumni professionals in your field from your very first year on campus. Familiarize yourself with this office earlier in your undergraduate career, and don't be afraid to reach out to us. We are a family after all. And as you return home or travel for holiday and summer breaks, remember that your alumni association is represented by regional alumni chapters in over 15 cities across the country. Regional chapters host various types of events throughout the year, including professional and social gatherings, OWU athletic event viewing parties, service initiatives, and tours of local attractions. Many of our chapters have young alumni subcommittees that provide valuable connections immediately after graduation. Don't hesitate to reach out to these chapters during your travels and on your breaks, as they provide you instant and valuable local connections. So in the spirit of some of the repetitive advice you've been hearing as you prepared for your journey to OWU, I urge you to savor your time here. Although I assure you it won't feel like it over the next 4 years, you really are students for such a short time. But you are bishops for a lifetime. So on behalf of the OWU Alumni Association, congratulations on beginning this new and exciting chapter in your life. We know you will make us proud.
Hello, and welcome to Ohio Wesleyan University. I'm excited that each and every one of you has decided to become one of America's best, brightest, and most prestigious of students, an Ohio Wesleyan Bishop. Although cliche, and frankly, probably everyone from parent to passerby has already mentioned this, I'm going to tell you too. Your time at Ohio Wesleyan will go by amazingly quick. When we sat, we were in Gray Chapel, but I sat roughly about over there. Absolutely terrified about what the experience I was about to join. Looking back now, I wish somebody could have told me 5 or so quick facts that they could have provided me so that I felt more at home with the OWU experience from day one. Well, lucky for you, I'm going to do that exact same thing here today. So, my first tip for the day is leave your door open. Frankly speaking, we probably don't know a lot of people at Ohio Wesleyan University right now, and there are 10 million different ways which you can make new friends, including classes, clubs, sports, Greek life, and student government. But personally, I think the best way is to just leave your door open when you're home. Let people come in and out as if you live in a sitcom, and your floor will have a more colorful cast than any cast you could ever write yourself. You never know who you might become best friends with, so leave that door open and welcome the Ohio Wesleyan experience inside. My second tip, say no to wearing the lanyard. This one is my little bit of fashion advice for each and every one of you. Year after year, students come in wearing their higher educations around their necks, with their room keys and mailbox key jingling happily. For some reason, many think this is the perfect accessory for every outfit, but I'm going to tell you now, just say no. Tip number 3, be proud of your university. Talking a little bit about fashion there, I'm going to pivot here to take a moment to talk about why we should be proud of Ohio Wesleyan. OU is a place that builds character and has educated people who have helped change the course of humanity. And I kid you not with that statement. This includes Nobel Prize winners like Sherwood Rowland, cultural innovators like Branch Rickey, and even Theodore Roosevelt's Vice President of the United States, Charles Fairbanks. OU has graduated countless students who have gone on to change the world, and looking out today, I think I can safely say I see another class ready to do the exact same thing. Tip number 4, it's okay if you're a little freaked out right now. If you don't think you're ready to change the world, you don't even know what your major is, or possibly like me freshman year, you didn't even know what rooms you were supposed to go to yet. That's okay. It's pretty normal to be a little worried. But if you're feeling a little freaked out, look at the people on the stage. Please do not hesitate to reach out to me, Rock, anyone here, because I know that there's something here that Ohio Wesleyan that will engage your mind, make your eyes shine, and get you excited about the OU experience you're about to enter. And last but not least, OU provides great opportunities, but you need to work hard and start now to really achieve the success you're probably hoping for. When I graduated high school, my superintendent told me this: Chris, college will be the most memorable 4 years of your life. I'm thinking to myself, I thought you said that was supposed to be high school. Why did I have to do this then? Okay. Thought that was a good joke, but I guess not. But long story short, he made it say that what you do in these next 4 years will help determine the rest of your life. And Ohio Wesleyan does provide the skills that will carry you through the rest of your life, along with knowledge and memories that you will always cherish. But it's up to you to take advantage of OU's opportunities. Rock was very kind in listing all of the wonderful things that I've had to be fortunate enough about during my 4 years here at Ohio Wesleyan. But they didn't come from the university. They came out there because I worked hard, I shook hands, I shook a lot of hands, and I made sure that I devoted myself to anything I could hear and try and get myself involved with. It's important you try things, it's important you challenge yourself too. I'd like to close by encouraging you to please, please, please understand that OU is exactly what you make it. As somebody famous once said, life's what you make it, so let's make it right. Thank you.
afternoon to the members of the class of 2021, new transfer students, visiting students, and families who have come from as far away as Cameroon, China, Ethiopia, Greece, India, Indonesia, Japan, Myanmar, Nepal, the Netherlands, Nigeria, Pakistan, South Korea, United Arab Emirates, and Vietnam. And 33 states, Arizona, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, and Wisconsin. On behalf of the entire admission and financial aid staff, I extend a very warm and enthusiastic welcome to you, and we look forward to you being a part of the Ohio Wesleyan community. You've spent the better part of last year consumed by the college search, and we're sure there were times when all the test taking and essay writing, interviewing, and worrying seemed really overwhelming. But you were guided by the desire to find the best college suited to your needs. And likewise, those of us in the admission office reviewed countless recommendations and essays and transcripts in search of students who would be happy joining the Ohio Wesleyan community. We were committed to a set of standards as high as possible for the university. So we admitted people who could not only do the work demanded by the faculty, but could do it well. In addition, we want our university to grow even better and stronger than it already is. So we admitted students who bring their talent and passion to the university and promise to contribute in significant ways. Today, I'd like to take a moment to reflect on the group we have before us, a class that possesses a myriad of talents and accomplishments. You are an athletic group. We have 333 varsity sport participants. We have 119 varsity sport captains and 55 all-star, all-state, or all-region in a varsity sport. And you're smart, too. We have 85 students inducted into the National Honor Society. We have a National Merit semifinalist and 10 valedictorians. For art and music and theater accomplishments, 57 of you were involved in community theater, 2 editors of literary magazines, 3 editors of newspapers, 7 editors of school yearbooks, 34 students in their high school marching band, 8 earned the lead role or served as a director of a drama production, and 95 participated in music ensembles. For leadership and service, 4 served as Buckeye Boys State. We have 32 club presidents, 3 Eagle Scouts, 2 Girl Scout Gold or Silver Award, 1 Hugh O'Brien Youth Leadership Award winner, 30 were voted president, vice president, secretary, or treasurer of student council, 7 were your student body or class presidents in high school, and 21 key club, and 247 of you did community service or volunteer work. Many of you have had the opportunity to travel. 81 are first in the family to pursue a 4-year degree. 17 completed foreign exchange study or service. 50 of you were involved in diversity or LGBT clubs, and 25 participated on their speech, debate, model UN, or mock trial teams. You have very many unusual talents and hobbies, as we've discussed. Among you, we have an apprentice glassblower. One of you was a member of the FBI Teen Academy. One of you helped rebuild homes in Thailand and Nicaragua. We have an intern for a gubernatorial campaign. We have a member of the Delaware City Park and Recreation Board. We have a New York aquarium intern. We have someone who organized and directed a documentary about happiness. We have someone who owns a pet care business. Another one owns her own home-based bakery. And one that owns an online store that sells carnivorous plants. One of you has been selected to the National Advanced Youth Leadership Experience at Philmont Ranch in New Mexico. Someone here started a company that won the best junior company in the Netherlands and acted in a national TV show. One of you started your own club at school regarding mental health issues. And one of you started your own finance tech company in Silicon Valley at the age of 17. We have a trained falconry. We have an usher at Lincoln Center. We have someone who worked in his school zoo. Yes, the school actually has a zoo. I'm trying to figure that out. Interesting. One of you worked with World Wildlife Fund to research leopards. And one of you wrote for the Thought Catalog, a prominent online blog. 15 of you have siblings that attend here, and 28 parents or grandparents that attended OWU. And the most popular boy's name is Nicholas, and the most popular girl's name is Hannah. You have come to us today having accomplished so much in such a short amount of time, and during your time here, may you become more than you already are, and may you enter the outside world with an openness to sharing your talents and gifts with those around you. Congratulations once again on becoming members of the Ohio Wesleyan family. President Jones, I now present to you our new and transfer and our class of 2021.
Thank you, Susan, and I am thrilled, on behalf of the faculty, the staff, the trustees, the alumni, and all who are a part of the Ohio Wesleyan family, to welcome members of the class of 2021 and those who by their transfer here joined the classes of 2019 and 2020. We are thrilled that you have chosen OWU as your college home, and we look forward to all that you will accomplish in your years on campus. You join a community of learners today from across this country and around the world. As Susan has indicated, you represent a rich array of interest and accomplishment. As she indicated, some of you are the first in your families to enroll in college. One of you is the 29th in your family to enroll at Ohio Wesleyan, with a legacy dating back to 1856. Today, each of you takes your place where students have gathered for 175 years. It was 175 years ago in Elliott Hall at the top of the hill behind you, where classes first convened and Ohio Wesleyan University was born. Those students have come for 175 years to this campus with the dream of an education that would shape the rest of their lives. The historic buildings and majestic trees that surround us bear witness to the enduring mission of this university and the great contribution Ohio Wesleyan alumni have made in our society. Today, you inherit their legacy as you join this community and embrace an education designed to prepare moral leaders for a global society. Our charter, written by our founders 175 years ago, speaks of the value of liberal education, of a commitment to diversity represented initially by diversity of religious expression, and declares that an OWU education is designed for the benefit of citizens in general. Here at OWU, our education is grounded in the classical tradition. You will be challenged to think deeply, to explore a variety of disciplines that give you a breadth of perspective. You'll be challenged to learn to communicate persuasively through the power of your pen and the power of your voice, to develop empathetic understandings of those whose life experiences and worldviews differ from your own, and to make sound moral judgments. As has been indicated, your education will be enriched through a variety of opportunities beyond the classroom: athletics, Greek life, the residential community, student organizations, the performing arts. A host of opportunities that await you as you stand on the threshold of some of the most formative years of your life. Your education will be shaped by the OWU connection. The OWU connection challenges you to think big, to prepare you to confront the biggest and most complex problems facing our society. The challenges your generation inherits: prejudice, poverty, religious intolerance, climate change, healthcare, will not be solved in silos of narrow individual thinking. They require people who understand that knowledge is connected. For example, the connection between social justice and a robust economy. We challenge you to think big. The OWU Connection challenges you to go global. You'll have amazing experiences to experience other cultures, both through international travel and right here in Central Ohio. We can't introduce you to every culture, but we can help you gain the capacities for cultural literacy and for leadership in a diverse world. We want you to go global. And the OWU Connection challenges you to get real. We want you to embrace practical experiences outside of the classroom, internships and externships, undergraduate research, field study abroad in extraordinary ways. Nearby Columbus offers one of the most dynamic 20th cities in 21st century America with extraordinary opportunity awaiting you. Seek out opportunity. Put yourself in the real world. Get real. Now, with all of that, recent days have reminded us of deep divisions in our society. Many of those divisions are laced with fear and suspicion that too quickly translate all to abject hatred. The stain of racism, religious intolerance, and prejudice based on gender identity are all too present. Here at OWU, we will not shy away from deep and at times difficult conversations about these and other topics of contemporary importance. But at the heart of our conversations will be a commitment to the dignity of every human being and a commitment to create a campus that is safe, welcoming, and hospitable, especially to those who have been marginalized or who may be victims of inhumane words and actions because of their identity. My summer reading included Timothy D. Tyson's The Blood of Emmett Till. Emmett Till was a 14-year-old boy from Chicago spending the summer of 1955 with relatives in Mississippi when he was taken by a lynch mob and brutally killed. While his was not the only such death in the region of the time, circumstances, including the courageous insistence of his mother for an open casket funeral, caught the attention of the national and international media and shone a bright light on the evil stain of racism, white supremacy, and the work of the citizens' councils of the Deep South. Tyson, an eminent historian with joint appointments at Duke and UNC, argues that the murder of Emmett Till set the stage for the modern civil rights movement. In the closing chapter, he reflects on the paradox of how far we have come and how little progress we have made. He writes, quote, "To see beyond the ghosts, all of us must develop the moral vision and political will to crush white supremacy, both the political program and the concealed assumptions. We have to come to grips with our own history. Not only genocide, slavery, exploitation, and systems of oppression, but also the legacies of those who resisted and fought back and still fight back." I finished the book on the eve of the horrific events in Charlottesville just 1 week ago. I knew when I finished the book I would reference it today, though I had no idea of the tragic events that would put the exclamation point on Tyson's reflection. Let me reflect. Never before has it been so important to be a student of history. Never before has it been so important to develop a moral vision. Never before has it been more important to speak loudly and clearly in naming the evils around us. And students, never before. Never before has it been more important that young people take the journey you begin today. The journey of an education that opens your minds, celebrates diversity, and prepares you to serve the world. These are the founding values of Ohio Wesleyan University. They will guide everything we do on this campus, and we hope everything you will do in the world. Tyson reminds us of the words of Milan Kundera, quote, "The struggle of humanity against power is always the struggle of memory against forgetting." The struggle of humanity against power is always the struggle of memory against forgetting. And of James Baldwin, "Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced." Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. Today, I challenge you to take full advantage of the 4 years ahead and to do so in a way that allows you to remember that which must not be forgotten and to face that which must be changed. There is no better outcome of an OU education. And a word for parents, grandparents, family, and friends. This is a momentous day for you. You have spent nearly 2 decades preparing for this moment, and as it arrives, I know it comes with a range of feelings that evoke joy and pride, accompanied by a touch of sadness and perhaps a sense of loss. Today, you entrust to this campus that which you cherish the most. We honor your trust, and we pledge to do our best, knowing that the results of the coming 4 years require the best efforts of all of us, faculty and staff, students, and the families who stand in support of all that happens. We look forward to the relationship we establish as you take your place in the OU family. I mentioned earlier our founder's statement that an Ohio Wesleyan education is designed for the benefit of citizens in general. Students, that means that an OU education is not just about you. It's about the impact you will have on the world and the role you will play in shaping a more just and civil society, envisioning a better future through entrepreneurial activities that bring new ideas to life, and preserving the planet that gives and sustains all of life. Dr. Ben Arneson taught at Ohio Wesleyan for 36 years before his retirement more than 60 years ago. His impact on this campus now spans nearly a century. He understood the social impact of an OU education, and to that end, he challenged his students to sign a pledge in which they committed themselves to a life of service to the common good. You have been handed a copy of that pledge today. I invite you to follow along as I read the Arneson Pledge. With a view to serving the public interest, and regardless of the nature of my future vocation, I pledge that upon leaving college, I will devote a portion of my time to active and definite participation in public affairs. I encourage you to embrace the Arneson Pledge as you begin your time here at OU. Welcome to Ohio Wesleyan University. May the coming years be rich in opportunity, profound in growth, and lasting in influence as you prepare for moral leadership in a global society. We are proud today to welcome you as bishops, and we look forward to all that is ahead. Thank you. Now I invite rising senior Rachel Ballett, a member of the Ohio Wesleyan class of 2018, to come forward and lead us in the alma mater. I invite all to stand for the singing of the alma mater.
Rises our
Thank you, Rachel. I invite you to be seated. The next time the class of 2021 assembles in seats in front of Merrick Hall will be on the day of your graduation. And as you begin that journey today, we look forward to all that stands between now and that moment and to the celebration that follows in May of 2021. You will process out as a class, and you will move to the Jaywalk, where you will pass through a tunnel. That tunnel will include members of the faculty and staff. It will include student leaders, and they don't know it yet, but it will include your parents, grandparents, and family members. And the next time as a class you make that walk together will be in the final lap, which will take place a couple of days before your graduation. We look forward to all that stands between now and that time as we celebrate today the heritage of gathering in this place, of the walk across through the Jaywalk to our dinner, and of the official opening of the academic year. When Ohio Wesleyan was established in 1842, the founders acquired a bell. And since that time, each year that bell has rung at the opening of the academic year and again at commencement at the closing of the academic year. After 175 years, the bell does not ring in quite the way that it once rang. In fact, it's more of a clank. But in a moment, I will ring the bell as best I can, marking the opening of the new academic year. And then we will be led by ushers to take our places for the walk of the class to the Jaywalk and to dinner. May the year begin.